Hello, gathered friends. This is Spider, and welcome back to another review. And today we are taking a look at the final member of the Toa team, the Lego Bionicle Kopaka, which is set number 8536 and released back in 2001. So, to get things started, we'll take a look at the packaging. I didn't mean to bump it. And here we have the canister. Up top here you get Lego Technic. You get some stuff about the set. You have a very nice image of Kopaka. You got Bionicle on the back. You got the name of the character. And it tells you that this came with a mini CD-ROM. Because, yeah, some of the Toa came with that. Not all of them, but some of them did. Now, unfortunately, the person who sold this either lost that or kept it to themselves because it wasn't included. But honestly, I don't really care. I was just really buying it for the figure. You get this cool little thing where if you slide this around, it shows you all the different characters, which I always thought was neat. And then down here, it shows you a brief origin of the Toa and like where they come from. So that's really cool. You got the top, the canister, the bottom, and yeah, whoever used to own this, their name must have started with M because it's all over this thing. That's funny. Anyways, done with that. We can move on to the instructions, and we can take a better look. That image of Kopaka looks very, very nice. Obviously, you open it up, it tells you how to build the figure, as well as the combined form, which we'll talk about later. Got the back of it. That's it for that. But it also came with the poster. Because, yeah, these all came with a poster of the specific Toa that it came with. None of the figures I've bought so far came with that. So this one did. Yeah, you got a cool image of Kopaka. And on the back, you just got an advertisement for a bunch of other figures. I always like looking at stuff like this. Just cool seeing all the other possible stuff that's around. Anyways, that's it. On to the figure. And here we have Kopaka, the Toa of Ice, which you probably could have guessed, considering he is mostly white like the snow. Anyways, to start things off, we'll take a look at his articulation. He ain't got nothing at the head. The arm can move a little bit forward, a little bit back, can move out, rotate. He's got a hand. It's also on a ball joint, so you can kind of just move it all the way around. This arm doesn't have a hand. Nothing at the waist. The legs can go a little bit forward, a little bit back. Can do the full splits if you wanted to. It can rotate. Foot can go up, can go down. A little bit of tilt. It can go all the way around. And that is it for articulation. And it's pretty much the same as Liwa. Yeah, not really new going on here. And kind of limited articulation, but the thing that kind of makes up for that is the gimmick of the figure. You got this gearbox on the back here, and if you rotate it, he swings his sword. Which is pretty cool, and pretty simple, and quite neat. Also, usually, because of this gearbox function, the arm is left really loose, but for some reason it's not on mine. It's actually, like, it stays in place for the most part, which is weird. That does not happen on any of the other Toas I own. I don't know. I guess there's just more friction on him. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Anyways, we can goodness, can't speak. We can now focus on the details. So, starting off at the top here, we got his mask, which is the Akaku, which allows him to have X-ray vision. Hence, this whole thing going on in the other eye. It's got a nice blue eye. Take off the mask, you can see that better. Like the others, it's got light piping. It's pretty cool. It was kind of nice. It's a bit harder to see on this mask because of the way it's shaped. But if you bring a light in there, you can still get it to glow. And that's pretty cool. Now you get the main body, which is pretty much the same as all of the other Toa. He's got an arm with a sword. It's a nice ice sword, which looks pretty dang cool. The other arm is constructed differently, and it has a shield with gaps in it for some reason. Kind of defeats the purpose of a shield, don't you think? I don't know why I don't know, maybe they just didn't have a solid piece yet, so they just used this one instead. Because later Kopakas would use a solid shield. I don't know, maybe they just didn't have that piece yet. Yet the legs, which are pretty much identical to all the... I think all of the Toa share these same exact legs. Maybe like these pieces are flipped, but it's pretty much the same. He goes back. Earbucks. So yeah, got a pretty similar build to some of the other Toa. In fact, I think he's almost identical to Liwa's build. Like I mentioned earlier, the two of them are very similar. The only thing that's different is the hand. And just like Liwa, I don't care for this arm configuration. It just looks weird in this L shape. So I like to flip it around like this. And I think that just looks much, much better. In fact, that's how I display him when he's on my shelf, is with his arm like this. I just think it allows for more, better posing, is all. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the details. Now, not too much different from the other Toa, but this is enough to make him slightly unique with the shield and the sword. And it actually makes him quite unique among the other Toa, because some of the others do have two weapons, but Kopaka is the only one to have two different armaments, a sword and a shield. So that makes him kind of stand out from some of the others. Just a smidge. Oh, and I should probably mention, when I got this figure, it was missing a piece, and that's this. I'll pop off his head so you can see better. This shoulder connector right here. It's actually supposed to be gray, but I didn't have a gray version of this piece. I only had a black one, which thankfully that still kind of works with the colors. But yeah, so just want to let you know that on the original set is actually gray, not black. And before we move on to size comparisons, I wanted to bring back the top of the canister, because you got this Bionicle head, which does actually function. You can put on a mask like that if you want to, but there's another thing you can do to it as well. You get these axle ports on each side, and there are 6 of them, so you can put all of the 6 Toa heads on top of it, just like it shows you on the back of the instructions. So yeah, if you have all 6 Toa, you can use this as sort of a display piece, I suppose. Which, I'm not entirely sure why you'd want to. I don't know. I always saw this as kind of morbid. Almost feels like they're, like when someone shoots a buck and like they have them stuffed and put their head on the wall. This is what it reminds me of. Someone's like, what, all the Toa dead? Someone hunted them all and put them on there? I don't know. Like, that's not what they were trying to do, but that's just all I can think of when I look at this. So I never really did it. But it's a thing you can do if you want to. And that's really all I had to show off for Kopaka here, so we can move on to the size comparisons. To start things off, as always, here he is with a Lego minifigure, with the Pack of Destruction minifigure Mothra, with the Pack of Destruction minifigure Godzilla, and finally, here he is with all of his brothers and sister. And after all these years, it's really nice to finally have all of these guys side by side with each other. That just looks really cool. Anywho, moving on. So that is pretty much it for the original Kopaka. And overall, he's pretty cool. Get it? Because cool, Toa of Ice. I'm sorry. Anyways, but yeah, he's a neat figure. I do like him, like I do the others. They're all pretty cool, you know. They all share similar flaws, but they're all still pretty fun too. And now, if you did want this figure for yourself, it's pretty expensive these days. On eBay, you can usually find them around the $40 to $70 price point, depending on how complete you want the set to be. I was able to get mine for $48, and yeah, it's pretty expensive, but I have a lot of nostalgia for these guys, and I'm a real big fan of Bionicle, so I'm willing to, you know, pay these prices, but others may not, and that's completely understandable, because it's a lot. I mean, these guys were originally only like $7, so it's a lot to pay, like more than like 20 something for them. I wish that's how much these things were, but that's not the world we live in, unfortunately. But anyways, that's it for this review. And just like how I reviewed Tahu, Pahatu, and Onua's combined form, very soon I will be taking a look at Kopaka, Gali, and Liwa's combined form. Should be coming very, very soon, so keep an eye out for that. But until then, see you later. Sayonara. Bye.